What's poppin', Guardians? For once, Artiphite is not doing back-to-back Titan build videos. I know it's weird. I look back on my videos, I'm like, damn, I make a lot of Titan videos. And for a good area of time, it was a lot of fun because Hunter builds have always been kind of just the hard meta. Like right now we have RDMs, right now we had before Knucklehead Radar, and we had some other things here and there, and Lamau Stompy's overpowered, which is still a crazy meme to think of when other exotics have been insanely strong. So I kind of want to keep those things for like comps, so they're not really much fun videos to make builds on. But let's, you know, continue to train on Warlock. And why am I back on Warlock, or why am I so heavy on Warlock? Well, it feels honest. Besides Dawnblade still being very strong and Stasis Warlock being extremely strong, it feels honest. But a build like this is something where I feel like is very much not used as much as it should. And why is that? Well, you see Rain of Fire and you see Vex Mythoclast and Dawnblade. What are we cooking up here? Well, if you've completely forgotten, air dodge reloads, which is with Dawnblade, will reload all your weapons and improves the airborne effectiveness of fusion rifles and linear fusion rifles. Oh, what is that? Vex Mythoclast is still classified as a fusion rifle, even though it's technically an auto rifle. However, the continuation is whenever you get kills with those weapons, you will also get Radiant. And that's important because Vex Mythoclast has a TTK of 1 whole second, which is not great honestly, but when you then plug in Radiant, you go to a 0.83, which is nice because in compared to things like Regix's Longsword or whatever the heck it's called, the Pulse Rifle, the new BXR, it's a 0.87 at base. So you can actually out TTK the meta heavily with just one single proc kill of Radiant. Let's go over some clips first, and then we'll dive deep into the build, into more heavily detailed. So again, as I mentioned before, we're going to go quickly over mods because they're really simple. I highly recommend as much targeting and unflinching as you can on your solar for Vex Mythoclast because it's going to be very vital to keep the gun extremely consistent and be able to land your shots a lot more easier. I feel like on a controller especially, it can be too slow, so it's harder to maintain that stickiness. On MK, you'll have an easier time. However, the more targeting, the better. I do keep a stasis targeting in order to keep my shotgun consistent with deadlock, because you're going to need that for anyone trying to rush you down. Keep in mind, recuperation, but already the greatest pairing in order to get a free health boost, and solar weapon surge just to make sure you have a little bit extra damage, which doesn't hurt on Vex Mythoclast. You would normally put holsters, however, Rain of Fire, which every 5 seconds you can just reload all your weapons. And a classic Reaper, Powerful Attraction, and Bomber in this case because I want to have my grenade as often as possible. Moving over to the subclass itself, you're gonna want to have some crucial things such as Icarus Dash and Heat Rises. Mainly Heat Rises because this is what's going to give you that free 20 AE, and then when you consume your grenade, you're getting a total of 70, which will actually put you from base 69, nice, from Rain of Fire and just base Heat Rising But when you activate Heat Rising, you're at 100. So when you consume your grenade, you're good. But if you don't consume your grenade, you're going to be moving on to things like Ember of Tempering, which is right here. Solar Weapon Final Blows grant you and your allies increased recovery for a short duration, stacks 3 times. And whenever you have it active, you're going to get a more aerial effectiveness and be able to create fire sprites on your Solar Weapon Final Blows, which is with Mythoclast, which we're going to do very often. So when that's active, go to 89. Not bad. This airborne effectiveness doesn't stack, only the recovery does, but that's fine. That still gets you pretty high, and it means so you don't have to actually use any airborne mods on your helmet. You just keep in mind of targeting. Back into the fragments, Malevolence, when you activate your Rain of Fire Radiant, that actually procs for your allies as well. So that means you can get your grenade, melee, and class ability so much more quicker. It's very nice. You've seen in my old video with the Hellion, with the other Ophidian aspects, the Slayer's Fang, and that one was really working well, and I was able to get my things a lot more quicker just for really simple occurrences of healing and for Radiant. The next thing is Ember of Mercy. If you're playing Trials, this is also a fine build. However, revives or any game modes like that, you get restoration. That's nice. But most importantly is Fire Sprites will give you restoration, which you're going to make a lot often with Tempering. So keep that in mind. And Radiant and restoration effects applied have increased duration. This is also very nice because it makes the Radiant from Rain of Fire actually go up to 12 seconds. And if you're doing it consistently, then you don't need things like Empyrean, which is what increases the Radiant restoration effects apply to you if you're getting more weapon kills. You don't need this, trust me, you really don't. If you want to use it, go for it. I can't tell you otherwise, but this is the build that I really felt like the most successful with. And of course, you can use any grenade you want. However, Healing Grenade also just pairs nicely with Malevolence. Insider Ray Snap, I use it because a lot of times I've had a lot of people rush at me and they're one shot and they didn't have a shotgun shot fast enough or something, whatever. And instead of a Celestial Fire, the Incendiary Snap felt better. Phoenix Dive, cool. And the most important thing, Song of Flame. Now, why is Song of Flame over other supers like Well Radiance and Daybreak? The purpose is I'm using it for what it was actually designed for, which is to run around in super form and deal damage and have permanent radiant while it's active. And that's honestly the nice part about this, because then I'm just going on a tear and not caring about what's going to try to kill me, because they can't kill me. I'm in Song of Flame. I am nearly invincible. And it feels much more useful than Well Radiance, which is just in a standard place, or Daybreak, which is just a whole other ordeal. But that's pretty much it. There's not much any fancy ordealness that I need to do with this build to really explain it more further, because it's really just simply get kills with Mythoclast, proc Radiant, proc your heat rises with the grenade, and then if you're near allies, you're going to be constantly getting your bullies back because you're going to be giving them Radiant or Restoration or healing or whatsoever. So it's a nice self cycle, and you can easily just chain kills back to back, especially because Vex Mythoclast also gets a damage boost itself whenever you're getting stacks of kills. It's really nice. Use sniper mode whenever you feel like it's needed. But that's about it. Thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And most importantly, take it easy, Guardians.
Fire team that fights together stays together. Call the Praxic Order, call the Thanatos, the Ginseng Scribe, call everyone! Take a victory! Double down. Fire team that fights together stays together. As one. I love it. The recruits have no excuses. Look at you, at what one Guardian can do. With nothing but your ghost, your weapon, and your life. We have fire team. I've seen enough. I'm calling this one. Victory is all I ask. Good. Those crests mean glory is yours, Guardian.